It's
I've been thinking about those. I'm thinking about getting into building those tables. Like I want to. I'm about to buy a dining room table, and they're expensive for like a good table. Because I'm like, I kind of want a table that I'll keep for a while.
You want your last table?
I don't know if it's my last table. But I want my second to last table. Let's say that.
Okay.
And so that means it's a $2,500 table roughly. And I'm like, wait, why does that cost $2,500? Can't I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this for $500? And it turns out you kind of can. I'm looking at those. It's not acrylic. What's the thing where you there's epoxy? It's where they pour over the live edge wood, and then like it fills in the gaps. And you basically just take a form and just throw a wood in it randomly, and then pour the epoxy or whatever on top, and it hardens. And
did
then
Wings try this?
No, Wings hired some imbecile to pour like clear coat on top of a desk and make it sticky so it could catch a lot of bugs.
From what I can gather, because I've done this, I've worked with epoxy thick like that. I think the guy didn't add the hardener. Epoxy doesn't dry like glue or water does. You combine two parts and then it dries chemically. They react with each other and it hardens. It seemed like this guy either didn't add the hardener or didn't add the ratio right. So it just stayed mushy for weeks, maybe forever.
That's a terrible job.
Like in the instances I'm talking about, they're not using it as like a clear coat for the top. Like the table is composed almost equally of wood and epoxy. You're pouring so much of it. So the wood is floating in this. Usually they color the epoxy and they'll throw LEDs in there too to like light it. So they'll do like they'll make it look like the beach or a river it'll look like a blue river is like flowing through the center of your table. And it can be achieved for a few $100s and a mold, it seems. And like basic carpentry tools, like you need a saw and hammer and brad gun and a few basic bitch things. That's cool. All right, so that's like a $40,000 table. That's a little different because of that live edge wood that they're using there, all that artistic shit they've done, and the fact that it looks like it's about 10 feet by 4 feet, or maybe even longer. Maybe it's 15 feet long. That's probably a $40,000 fucking table.
He says a couple hundred on Etsy. I don't know. Is he joking? I imagine he literally
scroll down.
Oh no!
Scroll down and start clicking the arrows though, because that's when you tell them what you want it to look like.
Like force perspective,
right? It's a couple hundred. You realize it's like a 12-inch by 12-inch table. When you
can get a charcuterie board. It starts at charcuterie boards, and then you click the thing and drag, and so you can get a $200.
Everyone needs a nice charcuterie board.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is my inner bachelor male
dimensions though. Yeah.
Coming out, but I'm still not at the point where I'll give a fuck about furniture. Like my plan is when I move, I throw everything the fuck out and then I just buy new furniture wherever I go next. Like fucking moving. Maybe if I had like a house, maybe it'd be different. But like moving furniture like sucks so hard. I did it one time in my life and I'll never do it again. I can like replace like my whole living room for like $3,000 or $4,000. I don't need anything else. You know, like a decent couch, a table for the TV. Like I'm not paying like fucking trucks and all that. Fuck all that shit. It's not worth it. Yeah.
I just want a table. I want a table, and I think I can build that table for like $800. Like no problem. I don't want to.
How much time though would it take you?
Is the other materials like we have a nice dining room table, but the legs are like some sort of cast iron heaviness. Like it's kind of nice. I'm like, oh, I can't do that part. I can do the top part.
You can buy the
wood.
So you buy the legs on Etsy as well. Probably. There are these guys who do like these. They've got these crazy legs that like scissor each other, and then like any legs that you can imagine they've got on there. And then you buy like those. You do carpentry, so you know, but I don't know what you can
imagine.
Like, the thing where you like screw the inserts into the bottom of the table, and then the screws go through the base into those inserts. They're metal screw-in inserts that you put in the bottom of the table.
Oh, those T nuts. I think they're called.
Something like that. I don't know.
You know how I picked out this table?
I'm trying to learn how to do this.
This table that I have all three monitors. You know how I picked this out? It was the closest and cheapest table to where I bought my couch at the same store. I went, that's fine. And my mom at the time, this was a few years ago when she was alive, and she was like, that doesn't match at all. And I'm like, it's going in the fucking streaming podcasting room. Who cares? It's cheap. Just get it.
I made my table. There's not much to it. It's just a tabletop sitting on some file cabinets and shit. And I'm like, I have an 11-foot room and I want a table that's the exact right size. So I have an 11-foot table. Still using it.
So here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to buy some of that IKEA butcher block stuff that you can just order, and I'm going to split it, or maybe not split, maybe like take a quarter of it and like make it that, and then have it separated, and then I'm going to have an epoxy like stripe, like to reconnect those two pieces, backed with like LEDs in the bottom, and I think I'll make something like that.
You're not going to do this till you move.
My living room is full of carpentry tools. The mighty saw. No,
You're so funny. You'll be like, because just a couple months ago